Today's video is about the IRS Letter 525, or the 30-day letter. This letter is the letter that you receive at the end of an audit and will tell you the next steps. So let's dive in to see what you need to know about this letter and what your next step should be. Hi, I'm Holland, a tax attorney that helps individuals and small businesses with their tax problems. Whether it's an ongoing audit or past due taxes, I'm here to help. Today's video is about the IRS Letter 525, also known as the 30-day letter. It's called the 30-day letter because you have 30 days to figure out what you want to do after receiving this letter. But let's first talk about what this letter actually is. This is the letter that is sent out at the end of an audit, specifically an audit that it was conducted by mail. There's a similar letter that is sent out for audits that happen in person, but that has a different form number. They both have the same effect, that there's a proposed change to your tax return. In most cases, this is probably going to result in you paying more taxes. However, it could mean that you get a refund if the auditor found something different. But in either case, if there is a change, then you will receive a letter showing you what those proposed changes are and explaining why those changes are being proposed. This letter is sent at the end of an audit. So one of the first things you need to understand is that you have been under audit. Specifically, you've been under what is called a mail examination. You aren't talking to a specific examiner, you're not talking to a specific auditor, but you're receiving letters in the mail. They are asking you for more information, and you need to respond to those letters within a certain time frame. If you do not, then they are going to close the audit for a non-responsiveness and make a finding generally not in your favor. If you have responded to the audit, then you're aware of the steps up until now. And now that you're at the end of the exam, the letter before you is the proposed adjustment. This will allow you to understand where the auditor thinks that should be adjusted, as well as what information has been collected and what information was not available. This can be important if you go on to the appeals process. So the first thing you need to do is figure out whether or not you agree with what is being proposed. If you end up owing more money, then you are going to have to pay this. You can set up an installment agreement or you can pay it in full, but if you do not agree, then you need to make that known now. If you don't agree, then you can still talk to the auditor. The audit is not closed yet. You have a chance to either provide more information or make a different argument. If you've tried this already and have gotten nowhere, then ask to speak to the manager. Sometimes the manager will see things in a different light and tell the auditor to review what was provided or collect more information. If you talk to the manager and the manager doesn't get you anywhere, then you still have the chance to go to appeals and present your case to an independent body within the IRS. This can be a great way to come to a settlement on especially thorny topics. However, that is going to require that you take this to another step, spend more time on this, and present this to another person within the IRS. While the Office of Appeals is a separate video, it is an important aspect of the audit process and should not be underestimated for its effectiveness. Moving on, if you understand why the adjustment is being proposed and agree with it, not necessarily like it, but you do agree with it, then you can go ahead and agree with the findings. This doesn't mean that you have to pay immediately, but you should be prepared to figure out a way to pay off the difference, assuming that you actually owe something. If it is a large amount, then you can explore options like an installment agreement. If it is a smaller amount, the best recourse is to pay it in full. That way you avoid any additional penalties and interest. You can talk to not only the auditor or the auditor's manager about these options, but you can also talk to your either tax preparer or other tax professional, like a tax attorney, about options at this point. Your options at this point are to either continue working with the auditor to try to come to a resolution about the disagreement, talk to the auditor's manager, ask for an appeals conference, or pay the difference. If there is a refund due after the adjustment is concluded, then you can agree with it and the IRS will issue that check generally within 2 to 3 weeks of the paperwork being processed. Please note that this letter is called the 30-day letter for a reason. You only have 30 days to respond to the letter, either in the affirmative or in the negative, meaning that if you agree with it, you should say so and make arrangements to pay off the amount due. Or if there's a refund, then go ahead and collect that refund. If you disagree with it, then you should take the steps that we laid out previously of either continue working with the auditor, talking to the auditor's manager, or requesting an appeals conference. If you do not respond within the 30-day window, then the case will be closed and the proposed adjustment will be made. So you will be stuck with the amount either due or the refund amount coming to you. If this was an amended return, then that refund amount may not be as large as you thought it was going to be when you filed the amended return. If you have questions about the auditor's report, either call the IRS and ask them to explain it, or talk to a tax professional, either your tax preparer or a tax attorney, who can walk through exactly what the report means and what it's going to entail for you as a result. That's the Letter 525, or the 30-day letter, also known as the Notice of Proposed Adjustment. If you have any questions about this, either leave a comment below or reach out to me directly. My information is in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel, as I will be producing more content like this in the near future. Until then, have a good day.